So I'm currently in the middle of packing. Well, I guess all three of us are currently in the middle of packing to go to Cape Town for spring break. Not only is this my first time traveling to the continent of Africa, this is also my first big HBS trip. Prior to this, it's all been somewhat local: Cape Cod, skiing at Mont Tremblant and Killington, section retreat, but this time we're going big. One of my section mates is from Cape Town, and he and his girlfriend organized this trip. When my husband and I were considering which trips to go on, we were very intentional about making sure that we were going to be able to see more than the inside of a bar, have the space and time to build stronger relationships, and we did not want to spend an arm and a leg. I'm really excited and grateful to get to go on this trip, not just led by a local, but someone I trust and have built a relationship with over the course of RC year. And I'm excited to document it for my own memories and take you guys along in the process. Sorry, not you guys, Blue and Bell. Y'all will have to stay home. We made it to Cape Town. It was a crazy 24-hour travel day, but it's so beautiful here. I'm so excited to be here. We are just exiting the airport, headed to the main Airbnb. We have 3 Airbnbs booked for the weekend. They're all along the beach. They're all these really cute villas. We're just going to meet up with the rest of the section. We already have an Uber Eats lunch order going. Going to eat lunch and take a shower and then get on with our day. It's about noon and we have a whole day of programming ahead of us, and I'm just so excited. So we just got to the main Airbnb villa, and it's been so exciting to see our section mates. We all came on a couple different flights or coming in cohorts depending on which airline we took. Someone is cutting some watermelon, which just hits so hard after a long flight. I was able to sleep for at least half of the flight time, so I would call that pretty good. So I'd say the time passed by pretty fast. Lunch is coming, but until then, I'm going to take a quick shower, and then we'll eat lunch, and then we'll check into our Airbnb, and then we have some pretty fun events coming up. Well, we finished our first day in Cape Town and we are back at the Airbnb, and the scenery at night is just as beautiful as in the day. We see some twinkling stars up in the sky winking at us, telling us that it is time to go to bed because it's almost 1 a.m. And we're all suffering from jet lag, but also grateful and thankful to be here. Today we had such a fun day. We went to a concert in the middle of a botanical garden, which was amazing. This was our last summer concert of the year.
Oh, and this is biltong, which is like South African beef jerky. Worthwhile trying if you are a meat eater.
And then after that, we went to a bar where I slept on my husband's shoulder because I couldn't hang. And then we went to dinner and we had a fabulous dinner. It was so fun to see everyone from school in a completely new environment. It's so strange because the environment's completely different, but we already have so many shared experiences. We only know each other in the context of the classroom, mostly, and now we get to have this grand adventure together. I'm so grateful to be here, thankful for the opportunity to come, and excited for what's ahead. But until then, I'm going to go get some sleep, hopefully fix my jet lag, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. Wow, the scenery is so beautiful in the morning. So we have a packed day ahead of us. I'm just gonna whip up some breakfast really quick. We have some yogurt, berries, and granola, and a banana we got from the grocery store last night. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for the rest of the house to wake up and then join everybody at the main house. Okay, so when the itinerary for this trip first came out, I was honestly most excited for this day. Today is the day we get to go to Cape Point and the Cape of Good Hope, and also get to maybe see some penguins. HBS students are really deprived when the sight of any animal gets us so excited. So these penguins are African penguins, and they're actually really interesting. There used to be millions of them, but their population has dropped to fewer than around 20,000 breeding pairs today. Part of that decline actually traces back to when they were hunted and their fat was used as oil for lamps, along with some more recent issues like overfishing and environmental changes. Legend has it, last week there was an emperor penguin that also decided to visit the Cape. So that's pretty cool. Sadly, we did not get to see Happy Feet today, but now we know it is a possibility. And then you have the Dussies, aka the rock hyraxes, just casually sunbathing on the rocks. They are so cute, even though they're biologically way closer to elephants than anything you'd expect. I was so excited to get this one on video. He came so close. Watch him scamper. And then after we had seen enough penguins, which, to be honest, we can never see enough penguins, we had lunch on the beach and some of us took a cold dip. The water here actually comes from Antarctica, so it is really, really cold. Hence why some of us took a cold dip, a few of us put our feet in the water, and most of us did not touch the water for more than like a few seconds. For lunch, we had bagels, which were pre ordered and picked up and brought to us. Honestly, the organizers were so organized. They asked everybody what they wanted in advance and placed the order. And it was so nice because we didn't even have to think. We just showed up and the bagels showed up and we just ate. And the bagels were honestly so good. Honestly, I think they rival New York's bagels. And then after lunch and the cold dip, we went to Cape Point, which is the most southwest point on Africa. The views here were simply stunning, and it's crazy that we were only 600 kilometers away from Antarctica. But honestly, you can kind of feel it. The wind was crazy, and it was actually a little bit chilly. So if you ever come here, I do recommend you bring a windbreaker because you will need it. So we finished a little bit early and we had some time to burn before our dinner reservation, so we decided to go to a bar. And on the way to the bar, you wouldn't believe it, but we saw two baboons. Everyone was so excited about the baboons, except for our van drivers. Our van drivers told us not to open the doors. In fact, they locked the doors and told us that if we open the doors, we will find ourselves outside and the baboons inside. So that was a really fun experience. I'd never seen baboons so up close and personal, and the one perched on the stop sign, oh my gosh, he ruled the land. We stopped by at a bar, and while my section mates had a beer tasting, my husband and I went to the beach and we just looked at the scenery, and it was honestly so beautiful and very windy. So we're headed to dinner and we're taking a second to stop at Chapman's Peak to look at the sunset. The sunset, stunning. The wind, also stunning. I'll unmute the audio really quick so you can hear the speed of the wind, but literally we felt like we were going to be blown off the cliff. So while we were supposed to stay here for like 30 something minutes to admire the sunset, we stayed for maybe 3 minutes, got a group photo, and then rushed back into the vans to go to dinner because this was like hurricane level winds. And dinner was at Chapman's Peak Hotel. This is a restaurant that is very near and dear to our Sectionmates family. Apparently, they came here a lot, and this restaurant is known for their seafood and calamari. And I can tell you that their calamari does not disappoint. It is so substantial and has such a great mouthfeel. It is nothing like the calamari we get in the US, where it's like mostly breading. This one was probably only like 5% breading, and the rest was pure seafood. It was excellent. Not gonna lie, today has been kind of rough. At night, it was like storming pretty bad, but honestly, I sleep pretty well when it's raining and storming. But what has been hard is that my husband and I have caught a stomach bug, and it's been debilitating for the entire day. We were supposed to go to the botanical gardens and then take the cable car up to Table Mountain. But we spent like 30, 40 minutes in the botanical garden and like literally were dying, like could not go on. Luckily, Ubers here are pretty affordable and pretty cheap, so we just Ubered back and then we took a nap. But in efforts of trying to reclaim the day, we have a we have a nice dinner planned for tonight. It has already been planned and a deposit has been paid. So we took some medication and we are on our way to go enjoy it. But so I have my outfit on and a little bit of makeup, and I'm getting ready to accessorize. So I have these earrings. They're a gift from a classmate. His wife's sister owns a boutique in Azerbaijan, and she gifted me these. And I felt like they would go really well with this outfit because of the brass hardware on my jumpsuit here. So we're gonna give them their debut. So now that the finishing touches are done, we're gonna go meet up with the crew at the main house and take an Uber to the restaurant. I'm really excited for the restaurant. I hope my appetite is restored by the time we get there, and I'm excited to take you guys along. So, Fyn, the restaurant that we're eating at, is actually named after the Fynbos biome, one of the most unique ecosystems in the whole world. This biome literally only exists at the Cape, and it's incredibly rich in biodiversity, and a lot of what grows here doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. The botanical gardens that we went to earlier actually showcases many of the plants that are only found in the Fynbos biome. And this restaurant mirrors that. It's rooted in local South African ingredients, but combined with Japanese techniques. The Japanese preparation methods actually make the exotic foods that we ate, such as springbok and ostrich, feel more approachable and familiar. So, not only is this a really beautiful meal, it's actually deeply connected to the environment around us. And this is what makes the meal feel special. Y'all know I prefer to cook most of my own food, but getting this experience to taste local exotic foods was amazing. And it was so thoughtful of my section mate to book reservations for all of us to experience this together. Today was a free day, which I'm really grateful for because it gave us a little bit more leeway to recover from being sick. At this point, the group is thinking that it's more than just a stomach bug because each day, 2 to 3 people are falling ill. I know most travel vlogs don't mention getting sick, but this is just the reality of it. Not just this trip, but most HBS trips I've been on or heard about. Anyway, to enjoy the day, we did some light souvenir shopping, had a light lunch, and then the group met up before dinner for a sunset catamaran. We didn't think the night could get any better after being enchanted by the whales, but we were wrong. We went to a night market. Someone please help me with the pronunciation for the umpteenth time for dinner. The market had stalls with food from all over the world, but I specifically wanted to get African food. We got Ethiopian food and rubios, one of those, tea, because South Africa is known for it. The peach puree juice at the bottom complemented it so well. And for dessert, we got a lemon tart. I haven't talked much about money or purchasing power so far in this video, but our entire meal here was under 15 US dollars. Today, we went to 2 wineries. My husband and I don't really drink because, well, Asian glow is no fun, and also I don't think any amount of alcohol would have been good for our recovery at this point, but I still wanted to go and learn about wine and see all the scenery.
He's doing a punch down, so literally he's taking down a fork and jabbing the fork straight down into the 15,000 litre tank.
We started our day at Babylonstoren, the oldest working farm in South Africa. These gardens are visited second most compared to the Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens that we visited earlier in the trip. This garden actually has a biblical name from a story in Genesis 11. When the owner of Babylonstoren first saw the land, he noticed a large hill on the property. It reminded him of when humans tried to build a tower to reach the heavens. That tower in the Bible is called the Tower of Babel, and this is where Babylonstoren gets its name. After doing a wine tasting, well, the pairing stacks were very yummy. We took some four-wheelers to lunch. Sectionmate is another part of the farm, and we were treated to a true farm-to-table lunch buffet. It literally does not get more fresh than this. The food was so good, and the company was even better. Yes, I'm talking about the animals, of which they all have portraits. Isn't that so cute? And then there was another winery on the way home, but I took a walk and played with the doggos. and nothing is better than a burger to polish off a hard drinking day. Or any day. Apparently, Cape Town is deep in the smash burger hype trend, and I can't blame them. I'm still salivating thinking about this Wagyu burger. Today was a heavy learning day. You can't visit South Africa without learning about their history of apartheid and seeing the lingering effects of it today. But first, before feeding the mind, we got to feed the tummy. A couple of people in our house went to this cute little establishment for brunch. The restaurant was also kind of set up like a little marketplace where we could buy souvenirs and clothes. The other two girls bought some clothes, but even though I really wanted to buy a new swimsuit, I just didn't want to carry it for the whole day. For breakfast, I got a hojita latte. Is Cape Town on the matcha trend too? And for food, we got avocado toast and a salmon eggs benedict. The rain cleared up by the time we were done eating, which was honestly perfect. It was the perfect calm vibe for the morning, for breakfast, but if we're going to be on a boat and outside, I'm glad it cleared up. Honestly, we've been so blessed by the weather this trip. To get to Robben Island, we need to take a ferry. Robben Island was named after the seals, as Robben is Dutch for seal or sea lion. Unfortunately, there aren't really many more seals on the island after they were hunted by the inhabitants a long time ago. Robben Island used to be a place to quarantine people who suffered from leprosy before the island was turned into a maximum security prison for political prisoners, specifically black prisoners. Oftentimes, white prisoners were held in cells on the mainland.
1976. We were plus minus 240 when we arrived here. Ages ranging from 16, 17, 18, 19 to 21. Majority of us. Folks, this is section G. It is divided into 4 cells.
Famously, Nelson Mandela and Robert Sobukwe were held here, forced to work in limestone quarries without proper protective equipment. I really enjoyed learning about the rocks of Remembrance. When Mandela returned to Robben Island as president, he and former prisoners each placed a stone here, each one different in shape, weight, and story. But together, they formed something united. A quiet reminder that despite differences, there can be collective strength. And he asserted that South Africa would become strong if they could build upon these differences rather than let the differences tear them apart. After the tour, we went back to the main Airbnb to meet with some city officials. It wouldn't be an HBS trip without some networking, right? Anyway, and then after that, we went to the other Airbnb, the last of the 3, for a farewell braai with our host's friends. A braai is a South African barbecue, and it was sublime. We also got to celebrate a Sectionmate's birthday with some cake, more malva pudding, and a Springbok shot. Today is our last day in Cape Town, and I wanted to go on the cable car up Table Mountain. Everyone said it was so fun and worth the views. One small tip though, don't forget to bring your student ID. It'll save you like $10. We didn't need an ID at the gardens or any other attractions, but for this one, you're gonna need it. It also happened to be a national holiday, so we had fun chatting with the locals in line. Apparently, you can also get a ticket for free on your birthday. The views on the mountain were stunning, and we also got to see more animals. Remember that the Cape is the only home for some of these animals and plants that live in the Fynbos biome. I also recommend bringing a jacket because it gets very windy and cold up here, especially if the clouds decide to cover the mountain. And when that happens, the locals call it a tablecloth. Isn't that such an apt name? After seeing the city from the top of Table Mountain, we went to go get some Cape Malay food. We got some butter chicken and some crispy chicken over rice. The butter chicken is a little lighter than what we'd expect from America, and the flavor profile was more refreshing as well. And the crispy chicken, well, it was amazing. The sauce and the butternut squash were the perfect pairing, and it also came with cream corn, which is different than the kind you get with Texas barbecue. Again, it was a little lighter and easier to inhale. And then we met up with everyone at the Airbnb to get into vans to go to the airport. About 10 of us were taking the same flight back to Boston. It was so bittersweet leaving Cape Town, because with one glance at the weather forecast in Boston, 19 degrees and snowing, everyone is dreading returning. And I guess I got my wish. My husband and I, along with another partner, were bumped from the flight because British Airways oversold it. I was pretty frustrated because now the HBS administration is probably going to lose a handful of hair because I'm going to miss a day of class, and patience is not one of my strengths, though I'm actively working on it. And this means that on both the inbound and outbound flights to Cape Town, British Airways has been a pain. They canceled our flight out of Boston 1 week before the trip, and now this? Explain to me why you would oversell a plane not just leaving Cape Town, but the continent of Africa. Like, who is going to accidentally or purposely miss this flight? This is a classic example of when business judgment, not algorithms, need to take over and run the ship. But even still, after jumping up and down and getting them to rebook us, I was determined to make the most out of it. We picked our own hotel, got those Wagyu smash burgers, and turned in for the night after a long day.
Round 2.
You gonna come back?
Yum.
Good morning. I just wanted to say that today is the day I did not know I needed. We had a relaxing morning and an amazingly fresh breakfast, laid out on the beach, and honestly, I'm really grateful for this extra day because I'm finally starting to feel more normal, and I'm glad I get the extra day to enjoy Cape Town. After the beach, we cleaned up, checked out, and enjoyed a late lunch before going to the airport to try to get on a plane again. And with that, I'm going to end the voiceover here. I hope you guys enjoy looking at the beautiful scenery and seeing the amazing water. If you like this vlog, let me know by liking and subscribing, and I will catch you guys back in Boston. Bye, guys. So cold. Water from Antarctica.